Curtis, DIY.
Okay, DIYers, so over the weekend, specifically on Sunday, you saw me react to a live stream from Lupe Fiasco, where he was actually reacting to a video by a YouTuber, ASCAP, who had been critical of an announcement he made about using AI technology for a radio station called Endless Loop. Now, during that reaction, the conversation obviously of AI came up, and I think a lot of you were surprised about what my stance is on AI. I don't want to harp too much about the details of ASCAP or Lupe Fiasco, but I do think it's important that you clearly know where I stand when it comes to AI, because it seemed like a lot of you were surprised. Disclaimer, this is not a video trying to convince you to think like me. This is not a video looking to cope or react to anything that has been said about me out here, but I do think it's important that if we have our own platforms, we control our own narratives. With that said, this video is going to flow a little bit differently because I have notes here that I'm going to refer to make sure that I cover so many of the issues that you guys shared with me. I went through all of the comments that were there, and I tried to compile a list of things that I felt like repeated themselves or either overlapped in topic. Now, first and foremost, I know many of you joined me during the shenanigans of 2024 and probably after you've seen all the AI content that I've made on this channel. This one right here was talking about how AI will replace these specific producers first. It was talking about those who are making generic versions of their favorite artists instead of trying to be original. This channel has always been about pro-independence, pro-artists, and pro-creativity, and never putting ourselves in a place where that is replaced. So this video was an attempt to warn those who are trying to run a lick on the culture of hip hop, on production. Your time's coming to an end. While many of you were out here dancing and sharing the ridiculousness of BBL Drizzy, I had a story here that I was covering that was a new federal bill that would change AI music rights, because if you didn't know, they were taking these recordings from master recordings that existed without permission. There was no laws in place to stop them. So I made video content to make sure that my people knew what was going on. Now, as you know, this channel has been very critical of the platform Spotify, specifically in this video that I covered 9 months ago that was talking about a scam where there was somebody who was using another artist's music and uploading AI versions of their music. And do you think they were getting paid for it? No. Or what about this video I did 8 months ago where I was talking about AI music generating websites that are ready to replace you, specifically Suno and Udio, who changed their language on their website from "this is a website that can help you with your music" to "this is your personal composer." Very problematic. Now, because of the coverage that I did, the ethical companies that exist within AI started reaching out to me, and I vetted them. Matter of fact, there are companies that reach out to me every single day. And I've said no, because I think it's important to protect not only my community, but of course to protect our art. I've been very clear about that. I've also been clear about the times that I found that AI was able to assist what I was doing, especially the more analytical, the more administrative work that takes so much time away from the thing that I came here to do, which is make music. Hell, I even did content about producers that was falling for AI thirst traps and getting their heart broke. Freaky ass. I even made a video that I thought was beyond just my independent artist community. I made a video that I felt like could help your grandmother, your grandfather, if they ever received a call from somebody whose voice sounded just like yours, that was asking or demanding for money, that said that they were in danger. I tried to raise as much awareness as possible. In addition to Spotify, you know that I'm very critical of these record labels, these major labels who are doing these nefarious things, such as this creation right here, which is an AI-based rapper, AI-generated rapper named Effin Mecca. This AI-generated rapper, you may remember, came out the gate sounding like a Tekashi 6ix9ine clone, throwing N-words around. It was ridiculous. I also made sure it was highlighted when you found out that this AI-generated rapper that was dropping these N-words was made by a white coder. Last but not least, just last year, the PRO ASCAP invited me out to come speak on behalf of independent artists, on behalf of DIYers about AI, the fears around AI, the ethical uses of AI, and the responsibility that falls on these companies and their machine learning. Peep this out. When it came to AI, I went through probably a very similar process as a lot of artists, with a lot of skepticism at first, because of just the way it was presented to me. But as I started to use it, I started to realize that the one thing they told me as an independent artist I needed was a team. It's not always easiest to come across reliable people for that team. And so I started to use Basically, these platforms is almost independent contractors for certain tasks, specific tasks. So Canva became my graphic designer because it has templates that are generated by graphic designers. ChatGPT became the assistant I didn't know I always needed, right? So as I started to utilize it in that way, I started to say, you know what? I love these tools because they're able to at least give me a framework and a foundation, which sometimes can take you out of your creative space if you spend too much time with structure. I made sure to walk the walk and talk the talk and take my black ass in these rooms and make sure that we had representation. That's why I was a little bit head scratching when I saw so many folks in the comments saying things along the lines of, I'm selling out and I'm losing the focus of what the goal is. I'm abandoning independent artists when I myself am still an independent artist that is going to bat for us daily. So after that video went live, I sat with your comments, especially the ones that had opposing points of views, because I want to learn something in the process in case there was something that I missed. After combing through all those comments, and they're all unique in their own way, I did start to see some of these themes, some of these issues overlapping. I compiled a list and I want to address them in this video so that you're clear on what my stance is when it comes to AI technology and machine learning. Now, why do I continue to separate the two? Because there is a difference. I'm not the one that's going to answer that for you today. We're going straight to the source. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, there's some issues here that my audience has raised to me, and I want to get your feedback on them first. But then I have additional questions after I pose these. I'm going to pose this as a quote that would be from someone who represents these levels of concerns. Is that something that we can do?
Absolutely. I'm ready to engage with the quotes and provide focused feedback. Let me know the first one, and we'll dive in.
Okay, so the first issue here is we need to protect and gatekeep Black culture from AI technology. It's a valid concern because obviously there have been a history of us offering off our arts. I mean, the major labels did it back in the 80s and having it pretty much taken out of our hands and then having the rules dictated by somebody else. First of all, what's your feedback on it? And I'll got some specific questions for you afterwards.
That concern is completely valid. Black culture has been at the forefront of innovation and creativity, and history shows us how often it's been exploited without credit or compensation. With AI, the stakes are higher because technology moves faster and data is collected invisibly. If we don't gatekeep, AI could commodify Black culture, stripping it of its roots and authenticity while benefiting others financially. Let me know your specific questions and we'll dig deeper.
I have a question about that. Are there ways that every day we may knowingly or unknowingly be contributing to this machine learning? Do you have examples? And please make them specific and let's make this compact.
Absolutely. Here are some specific ways we may be contributing to machine learning every day, often unknowingly. 1. Social media posts, sharing dances, slang, memes, and cultural trends on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter. AI studies these patterns to identify what's trending and marketable. 2. Streaming services. Platforms like Spotify analyze what we listen to, including genres rooted in Black culture, to recommend music and refine AI-generated playlists. 3. E-commerce shopping. Buying culturally significant items like Afrocentric art or clothing on Amazon or Etsy. AI tracks these purchases to predict trends. 4. Voice assistants using Siri or Alexa. These systems collect data from speech patterns, including AIV, to improve their understanding and mimicry of language. 5. Search engines, Googling topics related to Black culture, events, or history. This search data is used by AI to tailor ads or recommend content. Every interaction feeds AI models, often without explicit consent or awareness.
The second issue here, this is another quote, we need to protect our music from machine learning and taking our jobs. Now, this would be from the perspective of an independent artist or a working musician who feels threatened by some of these platforms that, once again, we either knowingly or unknowingly give our information over to machine learning. First of all, what is your perspective on that? And second, are we already doing that knowingly or unknowingly on some of the platforms that we use to distribute our music?
The fear of machine learning taking jobs is valid, especially for independent artists. AI can replicate styles, generate beats, or even write lyrics, which feels like competition. But the root issue isn't the technology itself. It's the lack of control over how artists' work is used. Without proper regulations, the tools meant to assist can feel like threats. Examples of contributing unknowingly. 1. Streaming services. Spotify and YouTube analyze songs' tempo, lyrics, and style to refine AI music generators. 2. Music distribution platforms. Services like DistroKid or TuneCore gather metadata, genre, mood, release dates that feeds into AI systems. 3. Social media. Sharing snippets of songs on TikTok or Instagram gives platforms data on what's catchy or popular. Or lyric sites. Uploading lyrics to Genius or MusicSmatch allows AI to study patterns and structures. Many artists don't realize these platforms are training AI while using their creations.
The next issue that I want to address is another quote. AI could take away real creativity and leave us with boring and factory-made music. What is your feedback about that?
This concern highlights a real fear, but AI isn't inherently a creativity killer. It's a tool that can only mimic patterns it's been trained on. It doesn't create from emotion, lived experience, or cultural nuance. AI-generated music can feel generic because it lacks the human soul and storytelling that make art resonate. True creativity thrives on individuality, which AI can't replicate.
Thank you, ChatGPT, on it. So let's get to these last two issues because I'm going to go ahead and explain these myself. AI and ghostwriters are the same thing. Specifically, the criticism that I had for Drake using the tailor-made freestyle. Why contradict yourself, Curtis? The criticism that I had for the Drake tailor-made freestyle has more to do with him using a dead man's voice without any kind of permission of the estate. Even if he got permission, I'd still have issue with it. My issue is the utilization of it, the boldness of using a dead man's voice to then use to weaponize within a battle without anybody's permission. But another close second issue that I have to that is the fact that forget Drake. This is a UMG creation. Drake is a UMG product, and UMG has been aggressive in trying to get this AI technology in their control and strip it out of the hands of some of the coders. And I'm not sympathizing with them, but they've done everything that they could to try to bully them in the way that they did Spotify and then turn that back around and then service it back to you. When I saw that as part of a rollout plan, and I thought it was more nefarious on the end of not just Drake, but of UMG as well. Also, I don't believe that AI should be using our creative brains for us. That's lazy. I enjoy making music. I enjoy sitting here and struggling with writer's block. That's part of the enjoyment of making music. The struggle and the resistance is what grows muscle. That's what I enjoy doing. I do not believe that personal hip-hop lyrics, speaking about ghostwriting, should ever be written by another man or woman or rapper. Call me a purist. Nobody should be writing your personal lyrics. I don't believe that AI should replace the joy and work I pride myself in creating. It's fun struggling. It's fun doing what I do. This is why I chose it. I personally don't want AI producing my beat. I don't want AI telling me what to say. That is not why I chose this as a profession. I don't care where it goes. This is what I find enjoyment to do. Even if it's just a hobby, I want the control at all times. The autonomy is everything. I fight for that. On the other hand, I do believe AI can help free up more time to make music through automation. There are products of AI like ChatGPT that I wish I had in my late 20s and 30s. The bags under my eyes would be a lot thinner if I wasn't having to hold on to all the responsibilities that it required to get my shit off. I'm not complaining, because it happened the way that it was supposed to happen. But now seeing the opportunity is discouraging to see so many of you DIY in an era where there are tools that weren't available when I started DIY. AI, Curtis, is trying to replace us. How could you embrace that?
Top 5 jobs at risk with AI. Data entry clerks. AI processes and organizes data faster and more accurately. 2 telemarketers. Automated chatbots and voice systems are replacing these roles. 3 cashiers. Self-checkout and contactless payment systems reduce the need for cashiers. 4. Factory workers. Robots handle repetitive tasks on assembly lines more efficiently. 5. Bookkeepers. AI software automates financial tasks like accounting and payroll. The role of creativity in the future. Creativity will be essential because it's deeply human and tied to emotions, originality, and cultural expression. As AI takes over repetitive tasks, people will seek art, stories, and innovations that connect on a personal level. Artists, musicians, and creatives will lead the way in shaping culture and providing the authentic experiences that AI cannot replicate. Creativity will not just be valuable, it will be indispensable.
Well, that's good for my job security, but what about for those who work those other jobs? What opportunities may be available to them, if any?
For those in jobs at high risk from AI, it's important to focus on upskilling and transitioning into roles that leverage uniquely human traits, like problem solving, emotional intelligence, and creativity.
DIYers, last year I released a song called AI that was calling out a lot of the same issues that you guys have raised within my videos. First verse went as followed. I am not afraid of your A and I. Let them play. They can never fake another eye. I'm the revolution that they never televise. I don't care what you computing because it's ill-advised. You could try to drop a prompt from that Time Romans font, but my nuance cannot be duplicated in a box. I grew up in the 90s on movies like RoboCop. I kind of know the plot. That's why I'm unorthodox. Stay up on your toes. I know you want to see me stumble, but this fly keep evolving. I feel like I'm Seth Brundle. Silicon Valley, I see vultures trying to stick their claws in my culture. You can use your mid-journey to sculpt us, but we laughing at your ass because you soulless. Call me naive, call me overconfident, call me uninformed, that's fine. But one thing I'm going to always tell you is that I am not afraid of little A and I shit. I'm not underestimating what it can do, but I'm also not underestimating what I can do, especially when I utilize some of the tools along the way. One thing that it's not going to stop is my decision, my ability, and my willingness to create. My willingness to challenge my old habits so that I can continue to evolve. Now, the more that I interact, the more that I learn about the field of AI and machine learning, the more that I realize so much of machine learning is dependent upon prior works. They're dependent upon the things that I've already created. If that's the case, am I naive to believe that it's always a step behind me? I, as a human being, have irrational, unpredictable emotions affected by my ever-changing environment that become a new set of results that didn't exist before. I have days that I have migraines and I feel like I can't sit down here and do it, but then I do it anyways. And I create a piece of art that, based upon my tolerance of pain, could have only been made possible because of that unpredictable pain. I say that to say if machine learning is always playing catch up, it can predict what it thinks I'm going to do based upon the patterns of the past, but it cannot tell me what I want to do today. It cannot predict the many sources, unexpected sources of inspiration that I will pull from. Its existence is going to in turn create another variable. I see what it has generated and I say, I do that a lot. Maybe I should challenge myself in music theory even more. And it's not about competing with AI for me. It's about making sure I know what it's doing on its end so I can get better at what I'm doing on my end. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a DIYer. With only 24 hours a day, like everybody else, I write, record, and mix my own music, just like musicians do. I produce, arrange, and mix my own production, just like music producers do. I research, light, shoot, correct, color correct, and edit my own videos, just like a video editor or videographer does. I brainstorm, design, and theme my own album and song art, just like a graphic designer could. I strategize, script, caption, and even edit and manually post my daily content on social media, like a content creator would. I even do admin work. I calculate splits, register songs, and manually pay my collaborators, like someone in charge of administration. And I do this all while trying to be the best husband and father that I know how, but there's only so many hours in the day. I've hired, paid, fired a lot of people along the way to help expand my team. Some did amazing work, some were unreliable and did subpar work. That is a deficiency of my leadership at times, but it's also just part of what happens when people are not living in their passion and in their truth, and you hire them to help build up your empire. You know, through those experiences, I learned a lot of lessons. I've burned through a lot of money, but most importantly, I lost a lot of time that I could have been making more music. Okay, but what does it have to do with AI, Curtis? Good question. Through the help of services like ChatGPT and even Canva, I've been able to buy back so much time in the last 2 years. I take on the responsibility of what could be 6 full-time jobs to be an independent artist doing what I do. A lot of those jobs are a requirement so that I can enjoy my autonomy. A lot of those jobs can be automated. A lot of those jobs AI is currently helping me with. And just so you're aware, none of that AI touched the creative process of my music. It's still my music. And I'm prideful. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Shout out to Erykah Badu. So what are the potential dangers and consequences in embracing AI technology? Honestly, I don't know. But the more that I use it, the more that I learn. The more that I see bastardized examples of rappers like F and Mecca, I don't see no niggas like we playing hot. The more that I start to peep game and make sure that independent artists out there stay aware of it. So Curtis, what are you expecting us to do? I'm not expecting you to do a damn thing except for what your logic tells you. However, for me, I can give you a quote that I saw on my Discord that I think wraps this up really well. When guns were introduced to war, the two options were call them the devil, like people are doing with AI, or also get some guns. Let's get some guns. Many of you out there, and that's including myself, feel like there are companies and there are individuals using AI, weaponizing AI to replace and to take the resources of Black folks and our music. I hear you 1,000%. The moment that I saw BBL Drizzy go viral, I said there's something going on. The moment that I saw the Grammys embracing the idea of an AI music generated category, I said the war is going on. But this is where I differ from a lot of my peers. The idea of sitting back and watching it happen and doing nothing or learning nothing about how these weapons work was not a responsible answer for me. Hell, the song that I made called AI, I used AI technology. Why? Because that was my way to show those who think that they are smarter than us and we have no ability to use the same weapons they have access to. I'm not saying it's the perfect way, but I am saying it's my way, and I encourage you to use your own. If you indeed feel as I do, that there are people out here and forces out here that are using a weapon to take you out of your job, to take you out of your role as a creative, don't you want to do something about it? There's no doubt in my mind that we are at war, especially as creatives, especially as those who are trying to make sure they can continue to make a living doing what they love. We've been at war for years with the Spotifys and the streaming platforms. It is no mystery. But in war, we got a few choices. You can point your finger at it, you can criticize it, call it the devil, you call it evil, and you may actually be right. Or
woke up this morning. Yeah. You got yourself a gun.
I got mine. Hope you got yours, DIYers.
DIY.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.